Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and but first of all, say I hope you're enjoying those little videos I've been uploading from my trip from the Monterey Bay Aquarium. But I still got more videos to upload, so hope you're enjoying them so far. So, but other than that though, getting back to another movie review and another revisit to be exact for another film, another 20th anniversary movie review. So another film for another anniversary review from 1997. I've already reviewed this, and that is to me for the 20th anniversary review. I'll be revisiting today is the classic comedy Mousehunt. Now, excuse me, I've already reviewed this a while back, and it was an hour-long review. I didn't mean to make that one an hour-long review though, but hey, if it's a good movie, might as well done though. So I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible because since I already reviewed it though. So, but yeah, 20 years later, it came around the same time as the Titanic and the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies. It came out around the same weekend. It did financially well, despite the competition. It did, but it was given mixed reviews. So it has a 43% Rotten Tomatoes. But it has a decent rating on IMDb at 6.4. And so the film is, I would still say it's a good comedy classic. I would say that I grew up watching this film. I still have it on old VHS. This is stored away though, but I still have it on VHS. It's a very funny movie. I got a lot of laughs growing up, and I still do today. And so the film is directed by Gore Verbinski, who, directed the first three Pirates of the Caribbean films, then The Lone Ranger, and before that he directed, before the Pirates film, he directed The Ring, which I enjoy. Which of course there are rumors he was going to direct a remake of Clue. I don't want to see a remake of Clue. And speaking of Clue, there was a documentary movie called Who Done It, which is a documentary making about the movie Clue, which I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, I was seeing them with interviews with Jonathan Lynn, the director, with Lindsay Ann Warren, who played Miss Scarlet, Colleen Kemp, who played Yvette, the maid, Michael McKean, who played Mr. Green, Lee Ving, who played Mr. Body, and so yeah, but I'd rather watch that than see a remake of Clue. I'm looking forward to seeing that. If I'm not sure it's playing in theaters though, but if it comes on DVD, I'm definitely gonna get that. I look forward to seeing. Yeah, a documentary on the movie of Clue. I would love to see that, because I love Clue. But I'm just gonna point that out though. But Gore Verbinski though. Yeah, this guy after this he wanted to direct the Ring, then the first three Pirates films, and the Lone Ranger. He directed a film last year from, or was it him? No, it was earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. It was a horror film called A Cure for Wellness. I remember the film was getting a lot of hype for it, then all of a sudden it flopped. Yeah, so much for the hype of that. The film did poorly. It flopped, and that was the latest film he did. And I don't know if he was doing anything else new, but I know that was the latest film he did. So yeah, but Gore Verbinski, he did a really good job with the film. And I highly enjoy the cast. Stars Nathan Lane, who I enjoy as an actor. Lee Evans, who plays the movie Nathan Lane's brother, Lars, and Nathan Lane's his name is Ernie. They're brothers. They're the Smuntz brothers, who their father, played by William Hickey, I guess he died before the film was released. Which William Hickey, I remember him. He was in the beginning of the opening of the first Puppet Master film. He's the guy who made the puppets. Their father died. Who owned this string factory. It was a family business though, but he who owned it, he died. Especially the funny opening during the rainy funeral, they take him out of the church, and Ernie and Lars, they're fighting over what color the coffin is, and then Lee Evans, he yanks out one of the handles of the coffin and loses makes it from and drops the coffin all the way down the stairs. And he's like, "I'm sorry, Pop. I'm sorry." Then sends the body flying right through the manhole. And the body's wearing boxers. He's not wearing pants either. So, that was a funny opening. And among also the cast is Vicki Lewis, who plays April, Lee Evans' wife, who she throws him out because he refused. There was these guys who want him to sell the factory, paying him a good amount of money to sell it. But he didn't because he made a promise to his father because he has his lucky string that he gave to his son. You get a little flashback to it. And Ernie, like Lee Evans, Lars, he very cares about his father. Excuse me. He cares very much about his father, while his brother Ernie kind of like he a little bit kind of resents his dad a little bit though. But at the end, you know, he does care about his father, but he's just been a little bit of resemblance to his dad. Like he's at the hospital, he's looking at me, he's like, you know. And he gave him this lucky string to share him forever, and Ernie's like, sure, Pop, here. And gives it to Lars, like, you care for the first 50 years, and I'll take it the next. And he's like, and turn a little more on the morphine, the cyanide, are you? And he's like, I heard that. So yeah, he's giving a little more resemblance to his dad, while Lars cares much more for his father. So yeah, he made a promise that, and his wife, Vicki Lewis, throws him out because of that. So after that, then he gets thrown out, and then while Ernie, he runs this very successful restaurant, he has a dinner for the mayor who's coming, and then a cockroach gets into his food, which was a cockroach from a box of cigars that his father left for them. So a cockroach gets into his food, and the mayor chokes on it, and then he dies from that. And now Ernie, because of that, his restaurant was shut down because of that. He's working at a diner where Lars goes to. And so now they're both homeless, and then they go to this house that has also been left by their father in his will. Pretty much a house in the middle of nowhere. Basically, it's high out on a hill, and it's empty. It's cold, and they gotta find more where Lars like, did you feel that? What? I gotta chill. You shouldn't talk about Pop like that because he's been talking much more about Ernie's been talking more negative things about his father. He's like, oh yeah, well, how's this for you? Thanks for nothing, you streak-sucking old loon! And then Lars is doing less so he doesn't have to hear it, and he's like, he didn't mean it, Pop. So then, they hear some scratching into the night, they go up to the attic, and he opens a box with mothballs, and a whole bunch of moths fly out, and he accidentally Lars hits Ernie with a bat. It's like, don't! And I always kind of find with how funny when Nathan Lane, how he gets hurt, he goes like, make these like, funny sounds like, when he gets hit, he's like, oh! So, they get scared by the shadow of a toy, a Jack in the Box, and Lars is like, ah! Ah! He just drops him. And there's the dog's barking again. But, they find there's a mouse living up there. He's like, Nathan Lane's like, it's just a mouse. And they find some blueprints of the layouts of the making of the house, and finds out it can be, this house is worth a lot of money by the architect, Charles Law LaRue, the missing LaRue. So the house is worth a lot of money. And you have Michael Jeter, who I just talked about, who released in the same year with Air Bud. May rest in peace. Which I enjoy Michael Jeter. Sadly, he's missed. And then there's this guy named Alexander Falco, played by Murray Chaikin. Mispronounced his name though. He's the guy who collects LaRue's. And Nathan Lane offers to go have this auction so they can bid against each other, which they agree to. So then and then later in the night they find the mouse. They find his little home, try to set a trap, doesn't work. The next morning, they find the trap empty, and David Lane thinks the mouse is gone though. And then he opens a box of cereal, then the mouse comes out right of the box. Then you get this another funny hijinks scene, which I like. Where Lars hits him with hits Nathan Lane with Ernie with the broomstick. It's like, ow! And he's like, ah! It's just the reactions between each other makes it so funny. And then Lars, he goes and gets a mallet, those hammers you beat meat with to tenderize it. I think it was meat tenderizer. And then he goes and smashes. This is one of the parts I always laughed so much is when he actually smashes Ernie's hand with the meat tenderizer. He's going, ow! I always just laugh at that so much, that part. I can just run it over and over and just be so freaking hilarious. It's just hilarious. He smashes his hand with it. And he's like, are you trying to kill me? So they place another trap with cheese. They try fixing the house up. And then you get this cute scene where the mouse, where he eats a whole wedge of cheese. And he has this little bedroom with a little clock and a little bed. It's really cute, and they use and with the mouse looked cute when it was real. There are times I could tell they use a little bit of CG bits on the mouse, but for the most part, it's a real mouse, and the mouse looks cute, and especially it looks cute when he's in his little bed. You know, he's about to go to sleep, and he looks really cute. Then all of a sudden, it gets interrupted when Lars is nailing these boards in with a nail gun, destroys his whole room, and he's running for it. And there's a little bit of CG bit where you hear him squeaking, and he's like being pinned against these nails. Well, only when he was running though, but still. But then of course the coincidence that the one nail was about to kill him, but of course that's with the last nail and it runs out of it, so it barely stops in front of his face. Coincidentally, of course. But Lars about to hammer it in, but he helps Ernie with his jacuzzi tub, which was worth $1,200, and they spent the last money on that. And then Ernie sees the mouse reflection through a bottle. They both fall down inside the bathtub all the way down to the lake, and they sink into it, the frozen lake. And they set there's this whole floor of mouse traps. I like this whole scene, how they just this whole entire floor is covered in mouse traps, and they have no way to get out. So they have to wait until the next morning, and the mouse goes right along, just bypassing all of the mouse traps. And you see him climbing up the shelves. He jumps onto flicks the light switch on and jumps onto the next shelf. And Ernie's like, that was good. And he tells he's going to go for the cherries, and the mouse jumps in where the spoon has cherries on top of it, on top of the spoon. He flicks it, make the cherry fall down. Then they're both getting ready for the whole thing, but then it starts slowly. The stem of the cherry just, bing, then the whole chain reaction of the mouse traps. And then they're just rolling into it. This is get the scene right there where they're just covered in mouse traps. It's hilarious. I like how they took time the whole thing to set all these mouse traps on the floor. It's just like, I like that. And they try to sucking through with a vacuum cleaner, but they're sucking through through a sewage pipe, and the whole thing explodes. And they're covered in it. And now that they got a notice to pay the mortgage or repossession. And it's worth $1,200, the money, which he spent on the jacuzzi tub. So now they're while doing it at the same time, they try to find another way to get rid of the mouse. First, they get this very vicious, aggressive cat named Catzilla. And there's little CG moments where it's walking on its own. You see it walking still in the box. So it's a CG bit, yeah. The mouse sees it. He's getting chased by the cat. Makes a mess of the house. Where they're both inside the piano and they hear the keyboards playing into a tune. And while they try to figure out their business with the money situation, they try to go to the factory to propose some of the employees as checks, so they can pay the mortgage. They don't like that, so they're protesting against it. While Ernie sees that the forms that those guys that went to Lars earlier to help to sell the factory with the case of money, he sees the papers and his brother didn't tell him that. So back with the cat, like the mouse has some traps with mouse traps. Then he goes to the dumbwaiter in the kitchen. There's a dumbwaiter and he chews the ropes. The cat falls. I guess he killed the mouse because you don't see the mouse after that. You just hear meow. So I guess they killed the mouse. Oh, the cat. Because I think it would have killed him for that fast of a drop. I would say so. So then they call for exterminator named Caesar. And he's played by Christopher Walken. And that's another good highlight of the film for me. Is I love Christopher Walken. He's a great actor. So he's playing this. He's kind of like this thing where he has this tape recorder, like something like he's during his investigation. He was like 1915 evidence found. So yeah, and he has like all these gear to catch this mouse, and he's explaining to them, it's like, that mouse, you are the intruder. I enjoy Christopher Walken. He was a nice addition to be in this film. So, and while it's going on, Lars, he gets the whole factory running to make money for the string, and then the whole funny thing is all these clothes gets caught in these things, and they're all just being ripped in. The strings it's making like it gets caught all these things, and it's tearing his clothes apart. He's like now fully naked, and when their attorney goes to Lars's place where his wife is at, he tells her about the auction, and she gets the idea about them making money about this, and she goes up to the office. She goes to the office in the factory while he's naked. He has all these yarns from his clothing, and then she takes off her coat, and she's like in this lingerie outfit, and he drops the yarn. He's naked and all that. And then of course, you also, for the running gag for the film, the portrait of their father, the face keeps on changing. Like when that scene with the two of them in the office, and Lars drops his his balls of yarn, the face changes to like this. And all the times you see the face changes also as well. So it's a running gag to the film. But finally, with the face of the father and the painting changes to a smiling, And with Chris and before with Ernie, he was going to go talk with those dealers in the park, but he gets distracted by these two women. His head blows up into the street, and then he gets hit by a bus. And he sees them before he calls them, so he misses the deal on that. And back with Christopher Walken, he's up in the attic, and the mouse outsmarts him by rigging this cable thing that he has to his van, and pulls the wires towards the van, and he's like, oh, nuts. And he gets dragged throughout the whole house, breaking up the wooden floors, stairs. And Lars picks up his brother from the hospital. He's wearing the pink coat. And the thing is that there might be, and they managed to handle the money situation because April gave him the money, and they see that they see there's a van being towed, and see he's being dragged out to this house. He looks like crap, and he's gone a little bit loopy in the head. And so after that, he finds that Ernie finds his tape recorder, him getting his ass kicked by the mouse. There was a deleted scene where Chris Walken, while he searches for the mouse plays like a radio. It's kind of like making him dance all wobbly, and he's like, ah, very good, my friend. Yeah. So there's a deleted scene of that. And then Ernie says, I don't think we're dealing with an ordinary mouse. Then the kitchen's a wreck, and they find a sandwich that's been made, and it's been slowly moving away. The mouse is there, or they try to hit it, the shells falls on them. He runs up the ceiling, Ernie goes after it, he gets stuck. Then the mouse makes the gas leak, and Lars lights a match. He sends him flying back in this china cabinet, and then sends Ernie shooting out like a shooting star, landing right into the lake, into the bathtub. And the whole cabinet shelf falls on Lars's hands. I was like, oh, that must have hurt. Like, probably broke his fingers. Because it literally lands right on top of his fingers. Just like, ah. And then Ernie goes in and he gets an elephant gun, tries to shoot the mouse. He's missing, and he's again his coffee can. He shoots it, he thinks he got it, but he goes into this hole where he puts it in, and it's right on top of where this flea bomb where it was left by Caesar. He shoots it, blows this whole big huge hole in the floor. An actual explosion of the floor being blown up, and they're falling in it. And so then the message machine comes, and it's those dealers saying about Ernie, and he missed the deal. And now Lars says he's been betrayed, and they're arguing against each other. Like, betrayal? Don't tell me about betrayal. You shouldn't tell me about that offer. Half that factory is mine, and half is mine, only because of the fact that you tried to sell. So yeah, they're arguing amongst each other, and they're bringing their father about it again, and they're fighting. He's like, I hate you, and I hate you, and I'll give you something. And Lars, he gets an orange. He's supposed to hit him, but he misses, but actually hits the mouse. It's like, you killed him. I didn't even know he was there. Just imagine all the trouble we could have saved ourselves if we just threw fruit at him in the first place. Oh, look, he's still breathing. We'll kill him. Blah, blah, object. And get the shovel. There you go. What the hell are you waiting for? I can't just hit him with a shovel. Why? But look at him. He's pathetic. Pathetic. He's Hitler with a tail. This is Nostradamus with whiskers. Nostradamus should have seen this. What was it? Nostradamus should have seen this. Couldn't see this thing coming. And he was good at it. He's like, I can't. Oh. So they put him they decided to put him in a box, send him all the way to Cuba. Which is that I could have forgot to put holes in the box. Of course, the mouse survives being locked in a box with no air in it, of course. All the way to Cuba and back. And once gone, they get the house fixed up just in time for the auction for the party. And Lars finds the box, the hole in it. The mouse has escaped again. He's in the house again. And it's getting on with the auction. He sees that he's giving a speech, and the mouse eats their dad's lucky string. He's trying to hit him with the gavel, and he whispers to Lars, "Hey, the string. What? The string? Bob's lucky string. Son of a bitch, ain't it?" So they're looking for it, and the mouse is on with those two women that Ernie met earlier. They're there, and the mouse jumps right into one of the woman's blouse, and Lars puts his hand right into it, and Ernie's like, and the other sister, he's like, he takes his hand and puts it in her blouse, and he's like, and he said he got it, but it slips through his hand. And he's in his suit, and he's getting tickled all over. And he's like, I got you now, my little friend. And then Ernie's like, hey, take it. Hold on a second. I want to get out. So he opens his pants, takes his hands in his pants. This is the whole simulation while this auction is going. It's fun. It's just hilarious. And the girl's thing with the sisters, or the spool that her hair for her hair, is on fire because they knocked one of the lady's cigarettes into the thing, and it's on fire. And the whole time, Ernie's like, keep going! Keep the auction going. Keep going! What was another one? While all this is going on, the guy who is, Falco, he gets choked on with an olive, and Michael Jeter gives him the Heimlich, and it goes right to April, Lars' wife, and he's like laughing at her, like, ha ha ha. Well, of course, she's a money grubbing, gold digging bitch, basically what she is. She only cares about the moolah. So yeah, I don't blame Ernie for laughing at her because she deserves it. So Ernie gets his host from Lars and tried to put where the mouse hole is to flush him out. Of course, that was a big mistake. It floods all the inside of the walls, and as everything starts flooding, and then ultimately brings the whole house down. So now everybody leaves. April's with this guy with a cowboy hat, and this says they have nowhere to go but the factory. And the mouse is underneath their cars or driving, follows to the factory, and he starts up the whole factory. Takes his whole wedge of cheese and makes it into a ball of string cheese, and which is like, it's string. It's cheese, and they see the mouse up there, and it gives them this old idea, which makes their business running back up again. And now it's much more huger success. Now it's a factory of string cheese now, and apparently Lars is with that one sister, the one who had her hair on fire. Apparently, she forgave him, I guess, because she's with the guy. She's with Lars, touring the factory, And now Ernie, he's now like back to being a chef, and now he has the mouse as his partner. Now he's wearing a little chef hat. He's not in here though, but it's cute. He's seeing the mouse on his shoulder, cute with a cute little chef hat on. He's tasting the samples of these different flavored string cheese, and then it ends with the portrait of their father now smiling, and the lucky string is back as by the building collapse. It falls. It somehow gets from heaven, flies down to the brothers, and now it's in a frame saying without string, a world without string is chaos. That's what it is. So yeah. I love this film. It's a classic comedy from 1997. The funniest movie of the year. Once again from somebody. I hate when they do that. Whoever makes the quotes up, they don't put their name there. At least this one on the back says, from KNX CBS Radio, calls it inspired and irresistible, giving it 4 stars. But I don't know whose name is this up here. That's the cast name right there. But I don't know who says it's the funniest movie of the year. We all know who it is. I hate when they do that. So yeah. But it's a classic comedy film. Nathan Lane, Lee Evans, which Lee Evans is actually British though, and he did a really good job pulling off the American accent. I couldn't even around the time while we were watching this, I didn't even know he was British. So he did a really good job with working out with the American accent, especially that soft like, do you want to help? That soft voice he has. So he did a good job with that American accent. I didn't even know he was British. So yeah, growing up I did not know that. That's why I'm pointing it out. I enjoy the score by Alan Silvestri. Good score, still it is. And then the animatronic effects by Stan Winston Studio. There were times, yeah, there was animatronic mouse. Back then I couldn't tell because I was a little kid. But the more I watch it, I can tell there's little bits of animatronics of the mouse there, probably as well as for the cat as well. So yeah, but yeah, nice from Stan Winston Studio. When Stan Winston made Rest in Peace and all that too. Great job by Gore Verbinski. The writing. So who did the writing of this? Written by Adam Rifkin. See what else films he was involved in. Well, he was a writer on Underdog, Zoom, Tim Allen. That sucked. He was a writer on Small Soldiers. I like Small Soldiers. Grew up with that film. And so much in the 80s and more than the 90s I'm not too familiar with. But yeah, Mousehunt, Small Soldiers. Yeah, Zoom sucked. Underdog. And he has directed some stuff though, but I'm not too familiar. Still not familiar with this guy. But Small Soldiers I am familiar because I enjoy Small Soldiers growing up. So, yeah. So yeah, the script is a good script. It's funny. It made me laugh growing up, so I can tell it. It's a film that made me laugh. The script made me laugh with all the stuff written in it, all the hijinks they're doing. They can't try to eliminate this mouse. It's hilarious. It's funny. I enjoy the cast: Nathan Lane, Lee Evans, Christopher Walken. It's nice to see him. Nice to see Michael Jeter as well. That's another guy. He doesn't get talked much nowadays, Michael Jeter. So that's why I meant to say his name, because I want his name to be noticed more often. Because I hate when with certain actors people don't get talked about now much, and especially when they're passed away. If I talk about who's he? So yeah, Michael Jeter was nice to see him in there. From Air Bud, Jurassic Park 3, The Green Mile. But yeah. And the rest of the supporting cast was fine too. And then for the mouse, there were some CG bits and animatronics, and they also use a real mouse too. The mouse looked cute. Like how he was outsmarting the two brothers. Yeah, and Gore Verbinski I would say it's his funniest film, because I don't think he's directed much comedies. besides the Pirates films and The Ring and whatever. I would say it's his funniest. Okay. But he did a good job with he did a good job directing it. And from 1997, 20 years later, it's still a funny classic 90s film. It still is. I don't think there's not a person who hates this film. Well, from who I've met from. Yeah. So I hope you like me revisit my 20th anniversary review of Mousehunt. Definitely 2 thumbs up for it. And as everyone who still has not seen this film, please, I recommend checking this out. You will not. I guarantee you, you will not. You'll try hard not to laugh, but I would say it's impossible for you to try not to laugh at this film. It's a very funny movie. I enjoy it. I laugh every time I watch it. So yeah. Sorry, this is something I had. But yeah. So I would give it 4 stars. I would give it 4 stars as well. So yeah, that's my 20th anniversary movie review of Mousehunt. And it's also, one thing I forgot to mention, it's also a very fast-paced film. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. It's very fast-paced, too. So it's not that long of a film. But yeah, 20 years later, it's still a funny film. I would recommend it to anyone who has not seen this yet. I would recommend it. You'll find a lot of good laughs about it, and I would say a little bit of heart to it as well. I'll store that out too. So yeah. Anyway, 20th anniversary movie of Mousehunt. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review, and stay tuned for more videos of from my trip to the aquarium as well. So stay tuned for more of those as well. Later.